All right, so today we're going to take a look at Tesla. There's some buyers that are coming in, and let's check out what's going on with the stock. Keep in mind, none of these are recommendations to buy, sell, or trade anything, just my own personal opinion, thoughts, and insight. And if you'd like to get some insights, definitely check out the Discord channel here as well. All right, so as we look at the market price action in Tesla, we've had quite a handful of problems here near the highs. Where the stock was coming in, and it was a little bit toppy over at around the $1,200 level. So we definitely had a bit of struggle right here at a few points where the stock just rejected these price levels. Now we did have some support around that $900,000 price level. So the stock really over the last few months has just been going sideways with the selling pressure that's been going on. And now we're attempting to kind of get a little bit of a bounce after a slight nasty pullback that we had just a couple days back. So the question is can we now look at buying the dip? Are we looking for some value? Well, I'm going to show you a little support level here as we take this all the way over. You can see the previous resistance back in near October time frame became resistance, and right over in this area there's probably a little bit of a massive panic. You could say, hey, there's just panic that came in, and that kind of flushes out a lot of people. So you did have some massive selling pressure that came in. That didn't look good, and now we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce or nibble kind of to the upside. So the question is as we start looking into this chart or time frame, are we going to be able to hold this $800 price level? And it's a question of, are you a longer term investor or are you a shorter term trader? So from a shorter trading perspective, I think you'll probably see a bounce here for the near term. But you need to watch out for the gap that you have a little bit earlier right here, and that could come into that resistance and create a little bit of a problem and trouble because of that empty space. So you'll probably get a fill, and then maybe you might get a rejection. So watch out for this level because that's a little dangerous. It's not to say we can't power higher and get back into this zone, this sideways area right here. But it's to say that there's just some trouble around that price level, and that's going to be right around 950. And you might even see that near that $1,000 level as well, because you have some resistance where we had some swing points in that level also. Drawing that line across, you can see there's some issues there that will probably act as some resistance. So just be a little bit careful, because right now the stock is acting a bit weak, but it could be just a counter trend bounce for the near term. So don't get sucked in too much. Always trade lighter on these types of bounces, because 2 days does not make a trend. You always want to see the digestion, possible pullback and retest. And that would be a little bit more of a safer bet. Right now, you could be very early getting into it. So just be a little bit more mindful of where you're at. Other than that, the stock's doing okay from that recent pullback. It's holding that 800, which is pretty good. If you're looking at about the 1200 to the pullback here, we've got about a 33% that it pulled back, and now we're bouncing. So we're still off the highs, kind of right around that 24-25% level. And we'll see if we can kind of hold this level. But if you're trying to get into this, start nibbling rather than going in too big all at once in one day. Spread that risk out across multiple days or weeks, and that would be a much better bet rather than getting all in. If you're doing option spreads, selling put verticals under that 800 would probably be something to consider. You could also do things like diagonals if you're a little more cautious, which is basically a covered call alternative, or even hedged or protected spreads in this kind of market condition. So anyways, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead, and I will see you in the next video.